Yes, Darkthrone, the band of Fenriz, real name Gyllenhagen and Nocturno Culto, real name Ted Shellum, are back with this new album, Prehistoric Metal. Here are all the songs we'll analyze from a musical perspective. They found one of my graves. Prehistoric Metal, Siberian Thaw, Deeply Rooted, the dry wells of hell. So I march through the sunken empire. Eat your pride, and Ion 4. But first, some interesting facts about this new studio album. To celebrate the band's 40th anniversary, Prehistoric Metal has been released. Recorded like the previous albums at the TRACKLIST studios in Oslo, it was produced by Ole Ovstedal, Silje Høgevold, and Mads Lewis. Fenriz has admitted that their touch is prehistoric, using the old to create something new. The duo has admitted that the album represents a continuation of their previous work. It beckons us all. Listening to the album, you can hear a blend of genres that are quite distant from each other. Fenriz's vocals, at times reminiscent of Deep Purple's The Angelion, with exceptional heights fused with thrash death sounds and some black undertones, leave many fans surprised, even considering them a risk. Did they do well? In my opinion, yes. It's right that each album contains something different from the previous one. The use of synthesizers in some songs might be a bit jarring, but hard rock fans will have no trouble absorbing the psychedelic sounds. For the younger generation, this album is a misstep. There are too many contrasting sounds, making it difficult to accept. Let's start with the song analysis. They found one of my graves. The first song. The beginning reminds me of raw thrash metal, especially the guitar. Nocturno Culto's vocals remind me of Celtic Frost Tom G. Wellier. As the arrangement progresses, we found a cross between doom and thrash, with a very well executed dissonance in the chords. This song is very dark. Part of it vaguely reminds me of Metallica's Seek and Destroy, perhaps a tribute to them. The experimental doom with the synthesizer in the background lends the sound a touch of Pink Floyd-style psychedelic rock, but very distantly. As for the lyrical analysis, I thank Kvlt AI, who says the lyrics revolve around the psychology of terror and latent guilt. The image of the uncovered grave is a powerful metaphor. Something buried, a secret, a trauma, a part of oneself is brought to light against one's will. The possessive plural "one of my graves" suggests that there are more still hidden, amplifying the sense of paranoia. Rating 7/10. Prehistoric Metal. The first single was released months ago, and I must say that they are faithful to their original style. Here we return to the 90s with their cold, mystical riffs. Fenriz and Nocturno Culto's vocals in this song are a mix of clean and screaming that never strays, the fastest song on the album. A black sound, but accompanied by German thrash. The lyrics you now read were analyzed by Kvlt AI, whom I thank. The lyrics are a declaration of belonging to something prior to history itself. Prehistoric metal is not a musical genre but a state of being primordial, pre-linguistic, prior to civilization and its compromises. Darkthrone position themselves as creatures of an era before measured time. Rating 8/10. Siberian Thaw. The beginning is a typical doom metal, a slow, soulful sound reminiscent of a band I can't name here, but Count Grishnak's band is fine. The opening riff is very similar to one of the tracks from Detsomengan Bar. Nocturno's voice seems distant, like an echo in the mountains, like being trapped. There's a cross between doom and black metal here atmospherically. This repetition of Siberian Thaw feels like a dark ritual, like an obsession you can't shake, almost like a whisper, then increasingly louder. The music stops. The synthesizer accompanies the arrangement, which has transformed into a cross between Black Sabbath and Pink Floyd. Then it returns to black metal with an explosion of aggression. I wasn't particularly sold on this track. I prefer other works under the Darkthrone name. Kvlt says a third track on prehistoric metal. The title refers to the Siberian Thaw, a real and catastrophic phenomenon linked to climate change, with the permafrost melting, releasing methane and ancient bacteria. Darkthrone takes this scenario and transforms it into cosmology. It is the most conceptually ambitious of the 3 tracks analyzed. It works on multiple simultaneous levels: ecological, the thawing of the permafrost as a real apocalyptic event; necromantic, the awakening of what was buried in the ice, diseases, entities, memories; mystical, the dissolution of the individual into the primordial matter of the swamp. The common thread is the return of what was frozen, both physically and physically. Rating 6 of 10. Deeply rooted, the opening riffs and various drum changes for the rhythm make this track a Darkthrone classic. It never gets too fast, but always oscillates between thrash and doom with black undertones. The second half of the song is very beautiful with various tempo changes. Nocturno, with his dark voice, creates a truly unique atmosphere. There are many interesting passages here that are not to be underestimated. Fenriz, a progressive rock singer, is truly the new addition to this latest album. Kvlt on the lyrics, full track on prehistoric metal. After the cosmic apocalypse of Siberian Thaw, the song marks a deliberate deceleration, less devastation, more grounding. The title itself is programmatic, not explosion but depth, not movement but permanence. The lyrics celebrate the power of invisibility and silence as forms of strength. What is deeply rooted does not need to manifest itself, it uses all its energy to remain unseen. It is a meditation on passive resistance, on the archaic wisdom that operates in the shadows. Rating 9 of 10. The dry wells of hell. The opening with the flanger and arpeggio is truly chilling. Then they begin with a not too fast thrash, their strength remaining slowness and atmosphere. Fenriz also leaves us with these Evangelion-esque clean high notes. Nocturno continues with his dark singing. Then they proceed with a sort of sludge rock doom is really not bad. It's harder for the new generations to understand Fenriz's choice to sing with high notes. Darkthrone have the reputation of being a truly important black metal band, and this choice to sing in a 70s style is misunderstood. We see a side of the band never experienced before. Kvlt. Fifth track on prehistoric metal, the title introduces one of the album's most original images, not the full pits of hell, fire, torment, and abundance of evil, but the dry wells. Hell is a place of scarcity, not excess. The song is built around a first-person voice that identifies with the well itself, not the one who draws from it, not the one who falls in, but the structure itself. It's a radically non-human perspective, evil as architecture, not as an agent. Overlapping, this is the theme of manipulation and undraining, something that empties from within and then absorbs everything. Rating 8 of 10. So I marched to the sunken empire. The opening synth effects and slow drumming take us into a German techno atmosphere like a Tangerine Dream or Klaus Schulze, albeit briefly. This track is a pure experimental, blending electronic ambient music with progressive rock. It's as if we were listening to Pink Floyd and Klaus Schulze together, a good experimental achievement for those who love these electronic nuances. Not suitable for Darkthrone fans who love pure black metal. The laughter at the end of Fenriz demonstrates their desire to experiment and how much fun they had recording it. A coincidence a la Persecution Mania? Yes, because they also all laugh together at the end of a song while in the studio. Rating 7 of 10. Eat your pride. Here we go, fast, thrash, black metal with Fenriz voice sounding like a sorcerer of darkness. It's one of the rare times we hear his voice differently. The mid-song arpeggio demonstrates their passion for thrash metal, and the bass, which creates a sort of solo, is truly phenomenal. Then the song progresses into this faster arrangement. Here we recognize the Inferno duo. There is a desire to return to the primitive sounds of a blaze in the northern sky, culminating in a chaotic drum ending, and Fenris' voice as if to say, "We are doing it right." Kvlt for the lyrics, 7-track on prehistoric metal. The title is an imperative repeated 3 times, the triple repetition as a ritual formula, as a rhythmic punishment, as a collective chant of humiliation. It is one of the most direct and aggressive titles on the album. The song is a declaration of collective, not individual reckoning. Where previous songs oscillated between the cosmic self and the tribal we, this one points to a more explicit socio-political dimension, a nation, a congregation, an era. Pride is a vice that must be consumed, devoured from within before it destroys everything. The closing with a heavy heart is crucial. It introduces an emotional ambivalence absent from the previous songs. It is not pure nihilism. There is pain, there is loss. Whoever orders pride to be devoured does so with a heavy heart. Rating 7 of 10. Eon 4. The continuation of the song's titled Eon continues, even if I prefer the first one, phenomenal. The last track of the album starts with this doom metal, and Fenriz black metal Candlemas style vocals demonstrate their desire to experiment and that for them there are no genres they can touch. They remind me of Bathory in their attitude, this one too. There are so many changes in one song that the listener ear won't tire. This track, sung by Fenriz, is very atmospheric. Kvlt for the lyrics, 8-track on prehistoric metal. The title is radically different from everything else on the album, not a poetic image, not a metaphor, but a geological designation. The aeons are the greatest divisions of geological time. The Phanerozoic aeon, the Archean aeon, the Proterozoic. Eon 4 is a scientific label applied to the sacred, the 4th Aeon, an era not yet catalogued, or the one we find ourselves in without knowing it. The song is formally unique on the album. It is a litany of epithets. No narrative, no lyrical self, no explicit addressee. Just a series of titles attributed to an unnamed entity. It is the structure of cosmic hymns, of Vedic invocation, of the names of God of the Kabbalistic tradition. The entity described is never named. It is surrounded by its attributes until it becomes visible by accumulation. Eon 4 is prehistoric metal's most formally courageous song, completely abandoning narrative, subject matter, and refrain, replacing everything with a litany of cosmic epithets, is a radical choice that most bands wouldn't dare. The result is a lyric that functions like an invocation. It's not read, it's recited. An answer of dying lights, an usurper of successors, are the most memorable lines, the former for its ecstatic cruelty, the latter for how the future itself is stolen as an act of cosmic power. A song that doesn't describe the end of the world, it lists it. Rating 9 of 10. And that's all about Darkthrone new album Prehistoric Metal.